Hello and welcome to the Wanderlust Professor yoga video series. My mission is to help you find a self-care fitness practice to increase your physical health and well-being. Please consult with your doctor before beginning any exercise program. In today's video, we're going to focus in on core work, a lot of abs and planks. If at any point in this practice you feel any pulling sensations that become uncomfortable, if they feel burning or stabbing, please dial back the intensity of the pose. You can always come to a child's pose or any other resting position. Let's begin by reclining and laying flat on our backs. You can extend your legs out in front of you, or you can keep your legs bent and your feet flat on the floor. We're going to be in this pose for just a few minutes to allow ourselves to focus in on our breath, to allow any thoughts that are in our mind to kind of come in and release them. Continue with your breath here. Allow yourself to melt into your mat. Turn your palms up towards the sky. And take a nice deep inhale through your nose and an exhale through your nose. Another one, inhale through your nose and exhale through your nose. In yoga, we use our breath to help regulate our energy and to refocus and recenter our thoughts. Let's begin to work by evening our breath. So we're looking for the same count as we inhale to our exhale. So let's see if we can inhale to a count of 4 and exhale to a count of 4. So inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold and exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's do that again. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. If you have thoughts that enter your mind during this practice, I encourage you to put them in a balloon and release them to the sky. We have 12 hours left of this day, plenty of time to accomplish all of the things on our to-do list. Let's do one more round of breath together. So inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. When you're ready, roll to your right side and press yourself up to a seated position. So let's begin just to do a few neck rolls, just to get our neck nice and limber and lubricated for the rest of this practice. When we're doing our planks, we're going to want to really focus in on making sure that we're keeping our neck nice and straight. So let's just get that warmed up. So we're going to take our chin and we're going to trace it up the left side of the room, across the ceiling, down the right side, and across the floor. We're going to do 5 rounds to the right and then 5 rounds to the left, moving with your own breath. And when you're finished, we're going to meet back in the center. Now, come back to your back in a nice reclined position. So we're extending our arms out to either side, forming a T with our body. And we're going to raise our legs, taking our knees and feet up towards the sky, and we're coming into a 90-degree angle between our shins and our thighs. From here, we're going to drop both legs to the right side, trying to keep your left shoulder still pinned down to the mat. And come back to center. And then we're going to drop our knees to the left side of our mat. And come back to center. Drop your knees again to the right. Trying to keep the opposite shoulder pinned to the mat. We're getting more of a stretch there and the opposite shoulder from our knees. And then back through center, and then one more time to the left. And then back to center. Extend your legs, raising your feet towards the ceiling, flexing your toes so that they're pointing down towards your face. And we're going to slowly lower our legs down. And then raise them up one more time, up to the ceiling, and then slowly lower back down. From here, plant your feet on the floor. We have our heels about 8 inches away from our seat. We're going to press up, taking our stomach up towards the ceiling and pressing down through our heels. And then lower back down one vertebrae at a time. Then we'll do that one more time. So pressing down through your heels, raise your stomach up towards the ceiling. Tighten those glutes. And then slowly lower down one vertebrae at a time. We're going to do a spinal roll. So grab your knees, bring them in towards your chest, and we're going to do 3 rolls. So slowly roll, and on the third one, cross your legs and come up to an easy seat. From here, roll over and come into tabletop. From tabletop, we're going to curl our toes and press up for down dog. Now we haven't done an awful lot to warm up our legs yet, so go ahead and press your heels back towards the mat, pedaling them out, getting some movement and blood in your legs. On your next inhale, take your right foot up towards the ceiling. Do a couple of little ankle rolls. And do it in the opposite direction. Then swing that right leg through to meet your hands at the front of your mat. Drop your left knee to the mat and come up. So we have our torso raised. We have our knee planted on the mat. Making sure that we're bending in to this front knee. You might be feeling some stretching in your left hip flexor. From here, we're going to drop our right hand down towards our side and inhale our left arm up overhead, coming into a side bend. Come back to center. Bring your hands together at heart center. We're going to take our left elbow to the outside of our right knee, twisting towards the right. And come back to center. Plant your hands. Curl your back toe and step your right foot to the back of your mat. Take your seat up and back for down dog. Pedal it out if you'd like. And once again, bring that right foot forward, planting your left knee. Now we're coming into half splits. If you have blocks, you can always use blocks. They help to extend your arms down towards your mat. We're on the heel of our right foot, and we have our left knee planted on the mat. So for half splits, we're looking for some stretching in the inner thigh of our right leg. We're going to rock forward again, coming up onto the toes of our back foot. We're stepping our right foot back again, coming into plank. So for plank, we want a straight line from our crown all the way down through our heels. We don't want our seat up and we don't want our seat down. A nice straight line, like a board of wood or a plank, is what we're going for. Drop your knees to the mat and lower your chest down. So for cobra, we want to ground down through the tops of our feet into the mat. Want to inhale, hover our hands, and raise our chest up off the mat. Exhale back down. Inhale, raise your chest, hover your hands. Exhale back down. And one more time. Inhale, raise your chest, hover your hands. And back down. Plant your hands, curl your toes, press up for plank, and back for down dog. Pedal out your feet if you would like to. And this time we're going to take our left foot up to the ceiling. Do some ankle rolls and do them in the opposite direction. Swing your left foot through to the front of your mat. Drop your right knee to the mat. And adjust your left leg accordingly. We want to make sure that we can see our toes. We want to make sure that our knee is not going over our ankle, but we want to bend into it to see if we can get into that right hip flexor. From here, drop your left arm to the side, inhale the right, and hinge over. Lower your arm. Bring your hands together at heart center. We're going to take our right elbow to the outside of our left knee. And come back to center. If you have blocks, you can grab those. And we're going to shift our weight back, keeping that left heel planted on the mat, but transferring our weight back towards the heel of our right leg. Rock forward, coming back into low lunge. Plant your hands. Take your left leg to the back of your mat. Curl your toes and press up for plank. So in plank, we have our wrists directly underneath our shoulders. This helps to transfer our weight. We're on our toes and we have our heels pressing back towards the wall behind us. Lower your knees, bring your chest to the mat. Hover your hands and inhale your chest up off the mat. Exhale back down. Hover your hands, inhale your chest. Exhale back down. And one more. Hover your hands and inhale your chest. And back down. Plant your hands, curl your toes, press up for plank. Back for down dog. And slowly make your way to the front of your mat. We're going to forward fold here and just allow gravity to pull you down. You might be feeling a stretch on the back side of your body. So from here, reverse swan dive, arms up overhead, palms together, and down through heart center. So now we are moving into our sun salutations. So we're going to be doing a few rounds of sun A. So this is definitely going to increase our heat, and it could increase your pace of breath. In yoga, we like to keep that nice even breath. So if you need to go back and refocus in on your breath, take the time in your practice. This is your practice. So take that time to refocus in on your breath. But let's do these practices together. So inhale, arms up overhead, hinging at the waist, fold forward, full forward fold. From here, come into a half lift. So take and plant your hands on your shins. We've got a flat back. The crown of our head is heading towards the wall that's in front of us. Full forward fold, plant your hands, step back for plank. Drop your knees, lower yourself down. Hover your hands, inhale your chest. Exhale back down. Plant your hands, curl your toes, press up for plank. Back for down dog. Walk yourself to the front of your mat. Full forward fold. Half lift. Full forward fold. Reverse swan dive. Arms up overhead, palms together, and down through heart center. And let's do that again together. So inhale, arms up overhead, hinging at the waist, fold forward. Half lift, hands to shins. Full forward fold, plant your hands, step back for plank. Lower your knees. Bring your chest to the mat. Hover your hands. Inhale your chest. Exhale back down. Plant your hands. Curl your toes. Press up for plank. Back for down dog. And walk yourself to the front of your mat. From here, let's come into ragdoll. So we're still folding at our waist. Let's grab a hold of the opposite elbows and just hang. Reverse swan dive, arms up overhead, palms together, and down through heart center. We have one more round of this. So inhale your arms up overhead, hinging at the waist, fold forward. Half lift, hands to shins. Full forward fold, plant your hands, step back for plank. Drop your knees, lower your chest. Hover your hands, inhale your chest. Exhale back down. Plant your hands, curl your toes, press up for plank. Back for down dog. From here, raise your right foot to the sky and swing it through to meet the hands at the front of your mat. We're pressing up, coming into high lunge, arms up overhead. We're grounding down through our right foot, our right heel, and we're on the ball of our left foot. We're going to take our left hand and take it to the outside of our right knee and take our right hand behind us. And coming back to center, we're going to push. Actually, let's bring our left foot forward just a little bit. For our next pose, we're going to transfer our weight to our front right standing leg. So pushing off with that left foot, transferring your weight, hinging at the waist, bringing your chest forward, transferring all that weight forward. See if you can pick up your left foot. Can you stand here with your weight transferred to your right standing leg? And if you're feeling stable with just your foot off the ground, continue to hinge at the waist forward, checking on your balance. Slowly lower that left leg back down, coming back into high lunge. Placing your hands on the mat, step your right foot back for plank, and then back for down dog. This time, take your left foot up to the sky. Swing it through to meet your hands at the front of the mat. From here, press up to high lunge. Take your right hand to the outside of your left knee and your left hand behind you. Coming back to center, we're going to bring our right foot forward just a little bit, working to transfer that weight to our left standing foot, hinging at the waist, bringing our chest forward. And if you feel stable, continue to transfer that weight to your left foot and see if you can't bring the right one off the ground. Slowly lower back down, coming into high lunge. Bring your arms down to the mat for plank. Lower your knees to the mat, take them the width of the mat, and come into child's pose. We've already been doing a lot of work. Has your breath pattern changed? Are you breathing more heavily? Are you breathing irregularly? If you are, can you refocus in on your breath? Press yourself back up and come into tabletop. From here, curl your toes and press yourself up to down dog. Take your right foot to the sky, swing it through to meet your hands at the front of the mat. Come up to high lunge. Drop the heel of your left foot to the mat, which will open up your hips to the long edge of the mat. We're bending into our right front knee, extending your arms to the front and the back of your mat. Reverse warrior, slide your left arm down your left leg and inhale the right arm up overhead. And come back down. We're turning on to the ball of our left foot and dropping that left knee down to the mat. Now we're getting ready to go through a series of planks. So if planks are challenging on your wrists, you can always come to your forearms. That's another option. You can also come up to your knuckles if that works for you as well. So from our low lunge, take your right foot back. We're going to transfer the weight to our right hand. Extend your right leg back, your left leg back, and we're rotating up to the sides of our feet. Extend that left arm up overhead. From here, drop your right hip to the mat and come to seated. Your legs are still extended out behind you. We're going to rotate onto our seat. We have our hands planted on the mat. We have our legs extended. We're going to raise our abdomen up towards the ceiling. And lower back down. And this time we're going to roll to a side plank with the weight on our left hand. So we're transferring the weight to our left hand, transferring over to the sides of our feet. Raise your hip and take your right arm up to the sky. Lower your left hip down to the mat and rotate around, coming back into tabletop. From here, press up for plank, back for down dog. Take your right foot to the sky, swing it through to meet your hands at the front of the mat. Press up for high lunge. Bring that left foot in just a little bit, transferring that weight again to that right front standing leg. See if you can't transfer more of the weight to that right standing leg and come back in to warrior three. Lower your left foot back down to the mat. High lunge. Rotate your left foot, dropping the heel to the mat, coming into warrior two. Pressing back up, we're going to rotate the toes of our right foot towards the long edge of our mat. Extending our arms nice and wide overhead. We've got our toes pointing out to the corners of our mat, and we're going to bring our seat down towards the mat. We're going to do some lower pulses here. Press back up, hinging at the waist, fold forward, and just allow yourself to take the release. Using your hands, walk yourself back up to standing. We're going to rotate again. We're going to rotate onto the ball of our left foot, taking our right foot forward. Plant your hands on the mat and step your right foot back for plank. Back for down dog. Take your left foot to the sky and swing it through to meet your hands at the front of your mat. Press yourself up, drop your heel, rotate your hips open, extend your arms to the front and the back of your mat, drop your left hand or your right hand down your leg, inhale your left arm up overhead. Cartwheel your hands back down to the mat and lower your right knee down to the mat. Coming back into side plank. So take that left foot to the back of your mat. We're going to transfer the weight to our left hand. Extend your legs out behind you, and we're rotating one to the outside and inside. Raise that right arm up overhead. Drop your left hip to the mat. Come on to your sit bones. Keeping your legs extended out in front of you. Plant your hands and raise your torso. Lower back down, transferring the weight to our right hand this time. Coming onto the sides of our feet, pressing ourselves up for side plank. Dropping our hip back down to the mat, and rotating around to come back in to tabletop. From here, curl your toes, press up for down dog, and step back for plank. Back for down dog again, this time taking the left foot up to the sky, swinging it through to meet your hands at the front of your mat. Coming up to a high lunge. Bring your right foot in just a little bit, hinging at the waist. Start moving your center of gravity over your left standing leg, coming up more onto the toes of your right foot. See if you can't transfer all of your weight to your left standing foot. Drop that right foot back down to the mat. Rotate, dropping that heel, opening those hips, coming into a warrior two. Slide your hand down your thigh, up overhead. Coming back to center. This time rotate your left foot towards the long edge of your mat. We're pointing our toes out towards the corners of our mat. Inhaling our arms up overhead and wide and dropping our seat. Doing some little pulses. Press back up. Hinging at the waist, fold forward and just release. Using your hands, walk yourself back up. I'm going to rotate this time so that our left foot is straight. We're on the ball of our right, taking our hands down to the mat, stepping back for plank, dropping our knees, taking them wide, and sitting back in child's pose. Press yourself back up to a tabletop. And this time, lower your seat down to the mat. Bring your left knee, bend it at a 90-degree angle, bring it out in front of you. And we're going to take our right knee and put it in the arch of our left foot. From here, we're going to rotate at our waist, taking our hands over to the left side of our mat. And if you feel like you want more of a twist here, lower down to your elbows. And if you want even more of a twist, take your right hand and thread it underneath your left armpit and drop the right side of your face to the mat. Slowly release and press yourself back up. I'm going to do the same thing on the opposite side. So we're going to take our right leg out in front of us, taking the knee of our left foot into the arch of the right. We're going to take both hands to the right side of our mat. And if you want more of a stretch, you can always lower to your elbows. And then for an additional stretch, you can thread your left hand underneath your right arm and drop the left side of your face to the mat. And come back to center. And lower yourself down to the mat. So we're coming back to a pose that we did at the beginning of the practice. Extend your arms out to either side, making a T, bringing our knees up towards the sky, making a 90-degree angle. We're going to drop our knees to the right side of our mat again. Then you can always play with your arms here. You don't have to leave them at a T. You can raise them and see if you can feel a little bit more of a stretch. It usually runs across the body. So if our knees are at the right, probably feel more of a stretch in that left chest armpit area. And come back to center. Lower your knees to the left side of your mat. And then play with the location of your right arm, because you're going to feel the stretch more across the body. And come back to center and lower your feet down to the mat. From here, let's take a moment to reset. Listen to what your body is telling you. Does it want to take motion here? Does it want to take movement? Or does it want stillness? Listen to what your body is telling you and provide that nurturing support to your body. We have one last round of breath. before we find stillness. Lower your feet down to the mat, about 8 to 10 inches away from your seat. We have our palms down on the mat. We're going to press through our heels, raising our abdomen up towards the sky, and try to move those shoulder blades together on the back side of your body. And then with control, slowly, ridiculously slowly, roll down one vertebrae at a time back to the mat. Allow your pelvis to settle onto the mat. We're going to do that one more time. So inhale up. And on the exhale, slowly lower down with control, one vertebrae at a time, until you come to rest. Take a moment to pause. Listen to what your body is telling you. Does it want to take some movement? Does it want stillness? Does it want you to bring your knees into your chest? What is it that your body wants right now? Take one more round of breath, and then find your comfortable position for Shavasana. We'll be in Shavasana for about 6 minutes, so find a position that's most comfortable for you. Or you can choose to sit in meditation. Begin to relax your brow. Release your tongue from the roof of your mouth and soften your jaw. Return back to your normal breath. Melt your abdomen into the mat and release all of the tension in your legs. Become one with the earth. slowly begin to bring your awareness back into the room. Follow your breath in and out and settle back into your body. Wiggle your fingers and your toes and wake up your arms. Reach your arms overhead for a good morning stretch. Take one more deep breath, becoming revitalized and full of energy. And when you're ready, roll to your right side and press yourself up to a seated position. Let's take one more round of breath together. Let's inhale our arms up overhead, palms together, and down through heart center. And let me leave you with this thought. Let your smile change the world, but do not let the world change your smile. If you like this video and would like to see more, please like, comment, and share. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel to receive notifications of new videos. Thank you for practicing with me today, and namaste.